I don't know. I could try the pipa. I mean, how lovely is that? All right, so let's get started here. What a beautiful instrument, this Sarod's. All the resonance, just beautiful, beautiful. No? Be authentic, because it can really help your life. Really, trust me on that one. It can. Okay, so I'm doing a follow-up video to the Geoshred video that I made last week. And okay, so first of all, let's just get this out of the way. I was correct. There was a button that I could press that could fix any issues that I was having. And I can't even remember the issue I had last week, but I remember being very particular. Anyway, I've been in contact with them, and they're super cool and really a very, very nice bunch of people who run Mo Forte, the company that makes Geoshred. Also, they've asked me to be an artist in residence. So last week when I said I was not sponsored, it was true. But this week they've shared some of their product with me. So I'm being partially sponsored, I guess you could say. The point is, I bought this with my own money, and I absolutely love this product and recommend it to anybody. But full disclosures, yeah. All right, so let's get started here. So what I want to do this week is just kind of, first of all, we're going to feature a couple of these instruments from Mo Forte. This is the Sarods and the Bansuri. So one is a plucked instrument that feels sitar-ish. Listen to that resonance. I mean, that is crazy. And it also goes out of tune every now and then, which I like. I really appreciate that. Okay. All right. But what I want to do, so I'm going to feature this, and I'm going to feature the Bansuri. Everything else is just simple strings, piano. There's the Bansuri. Okay, so let's get started. And I suppose maybe what I'll do, I just thought of it right now. Maybe we'll just do like a little simple, excuse me, I got the hiccups. Let's do a simple little like piano intro. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get at. And I have no idea why this is not lining up. Very strange. Did I cut it in the wrong place? I don't think so. Or did I? I did. All right. Let's get it cut correctly. All right. So maybe we'll just start it off with the piano. What a beautiful instrument, this Sarod's. All the resonance, just beautiful, beautiful. No? Bring some strings in. Okay, so these are the two instruments that I'm going to be featuring. And so what I want to talk about is just this idea of sort of like, I don't know if it's next level processing, but what I like to do with reverbs and delays, because I think generally we just sort of set it and forget it, right? And so I just want to introduce an idea that can take us a little farther than that. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to introduce a nice algorithmic reverb. And for this reverb, I'll just show you guys what am I using here. This is the Arturia version of the Lexicon. Let's see here. I have, oops, let's do this. Let's do that. And, oh man, my windows are all crazy. I don't know why. Okay, that's better. Let's see here. That's better. Okay. So, wow, this is really very big. So maybe we can resize the window so it's not 160%. That's better. So this is the Lexicon 224 reverb. I know it says 480L. That's what used to be on there, just the name. Anyway, so it's a nice algorithmic reverb. Let's just solo this and listen to it and just see how we like it. See, there's already so much wonderful natural resonance that it's almost like, you know, now I just realized something here. Let's bring open this instrument because, yeah, second time this delay came back after I turned it off. And I think it's just because I have to choose the dry preset. That makes sense. So it would be nice, though, if you could just turn that delay off and it would just respond and not reset itself. Now, I don't know why it is. Again, there's probably a switch for that. Well, there is. It's called the dry. So let's go ahead and listen again. So that's a nice level for the reverb. How about some delay? Okay, so here's what I like to do, okay, in between phrases. And sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't. We're going to give it a try. So the first thing I'll do here is I'll just go into touch mode, okay? Just turn on touch mode, and what that means is that basically whatever I touch is going to be recorded. So I'm going to do a little bus send. Right? Right here. See that? So I just sent a whole bunch of extra reverb. And now we can go back into automation. Let's also go to read mode. Let's go into our automation, and then we'll just take a look and sort of, you know, customize exactly how we want these positions to go. So again, this is just something I like to do, you know, and sometimes it sounds really nice, other times not as much, but either way, let's just, you know, we're going to at least try it. So I've got the send there. I'm probably going to maybe wait on until that very, very last note. So instead of having it come in on the penultimate note. So let's do that. Let's get it right on there. So this at -6 represents the level I set it at initially, and then we're just going to max it out. Let's listen. Okay, so probably that's not going to work. And this is where I'm going to musically make a few changes, and whereby I will have that nice send, and perhaps it was like way too much. So we're going to just change the automation here, and then we're going to look at the MIDI notes that are being played here. Instead of having that note there, I might just mute it for the sake of that beautiful reverb release. Let's listen. See that? So we just get a nice extra little bit of reverb push. Let's go a little hotter there. Just leave it a little bit more. See that? It's just so rich, you know? So what we'll do is we'll come back to that -6-ish level. And then for this next note, we're going to do basically exactly the same thing. So let's see. There we go. Beautiful. And we're going to really get in there, and we're really going to make sure that this goes pretty much on that note there. Maybe just come back a little bit. Okay. So this is the first thing. So then I'm going to do something very similar now with the delay as well. Now, I'm just going to take a peek here and make sure. I'm using the Arturia Delay Eternity, which I really like. And we're just going to make sure that the synchronization is on, which it is, which is great. Because before, when I was listening, I felt like it was not locking on rhythmically. And you know probably why. It's because I'm sort of doing a free performance. This is not really quantized. So what I'm going to do, because I want to keep my original performance, I'm just going to make a duplicate, because I'm going to quantize this for the sake of argument and for the sake of wanting to show you guys sort of this idea of the processing, because it relies on very precise rhythmic values that I didn't quite achieve. So let's go ahead, we'll select all, we'll quantize it. Here we go. See, now I had this issue before where I made a second instance of the same thing and then I got these strange playback problems. So that being said, let's do this in a slightly different way. Let's not do the second instance because for whatever reason, let's make sure. It's very strange. All right, so what we'll do is we'll just throw the original performance up here to keep it safe, and then we'll just work on the live copy. I don't know why that is. It's happened to me more than one time. It's probably a small bug. By the way, they make regular revisions. They told me like every 3 weeks they come out with new revisions, which I think that's just such an amazing level of dedication. So, okay, so let's go ahead. We'll quantize the performance. Now, let's listen to this time delay here. I'm going to go really exaggerated. Okay, that's a very exaggerated amount. I'm going to go realistically around here. That's fine. So we have a nice little bit of reverb, a little bit of delay, and we pushed that reverb gently. We're going to do the same thing now with, and by the way, if you see like, wait, how is he doing that? I don't see him touching the mouse to the fader. This is my control surface. I'm doing the auxiliary sends with hardware. I'm a huge fan of that. Let's just move that over there. Yeah, I'm a big fan. Actually, maybe we should keep that probably. Yeah, so you can just watch as I'm doing these automation sends. So here we go. I'm going to do a similar idea here, where on those last notes of the phrases, we're going to push the auxiliary send on the delay. So in order to set that up, we're going to want to put ourselves into the touch mode. So I'm going to just grab my touch mode over there. Actually, it's over here as well. This is these are the SSL controllers. Really, really nice. So I can just quickly turn on and off my automation, go to touch mode, read mode. Love it. Okay, so we're in touch, and let's go ahead. And so you saw I made the movement there. Let's go back here into read mode. And let's open up our automation. And here, I'll show you my smiling face again. Hi, everyone. So here it is. This is our delay, right? So we're going to just get in there and just clean it up, make sure it's right on the money. And maybe we'll just bring that down so it's not quite as much. And then I sort of was trying to remember the level I had it at before. Couldn't quite do it, but it's all good because I can just move. It's about -12 over there. There we go. So we're going to come back to that -12 figure. Oops. Okay. And then we're going to do the same thing. That final note there, we're going to come up fairly aggressively. So you see what happens there? This is a musical, very, very musical, and I'm exaggerating. I don't know that I would quite come out this much. Probably just bring these delays back a little bit. Now, I'm gonna, for this next little bit here, only hardware people will remember this stuff. Sorry, plug-in people. So yeah, years ago, there was, hold on, let me just get this over here. So back in the days of hardware, okay, here's a quick little overview here, but these were sort of staples in any studio that you would find, and I kept all my hardware, because, well, why get rid of it? I mean, sure, I've got a plug-in version of this now, but I love the old hardware. Plus, it has all my old presets, really good ones, that I spent a lot of time making that I don't know how to transfer them to the plug-in. Anyway. So this over here, this is a PCM80, a PCM81, and a PCM90. These are all Lexicon Reverbs. And especially on the PCM80, that was like my main go-to multi-effects unit and reverb unit. It's a Lexicon, man. Very sad kind of it's very sad what happened to them. They're just not quite the same company they once were. This is what happens when private equity firms buy out these companies. And it's one of the things I really, really, really appreciate about the Moforte is that it's, they're not bought out by Native Instruments, which got bought out by, oh gosh, I forgot the name of that private equity firm. But anyway, they also bought Isotope and now, by the way, you get advertisements. Instead of opening Contact to default into the rack view, they force you into the other view, which I hate, and then they advertise new products to you. It's honestly, it's such a violation of like the sacred studio space. I digress. Okay, let's go back here. So we're coming back here. So why am I telling you all this? All right, well, I'm telling you all this because on this bus right here, this PCM80 bus, this I sampled with impulse responses. I sampled my PCM80, this particular preset that I made that I used it on I can't tell you how many records I used it on and how many game soundtracks. I used it on so many things. Anyway, it's just a lovely, lovely multi-effects. It combines reverb, delay, and some kind of a filter. It's how about this? Let's maybe mute. We'll bypass these other effects. So you can really just hear this PCM80, what it does to this sarod. Oh, Lexicon, what happened? What happened? Oh, my goodness. I mean, their plugins are still not M1 native, man. I mean, for 2 years, their installer was broken. I mean, it's very sad because they got bought out by Samsung or by Harman that was then bought by Samsung. And this is what happens when these big companies buy other companies. Bad things happen usually. Very, very sad. Anyway, isn't that beautiful? Just listen to that resonance that it adds on. I mean, here's what I'll do. I'll just hear that after the ringing. This is I love this. That's beautiful. I mean, that is just gorgeous. I love it. All right, so we're going to fire up the delay again, and I'm almost feeling, because I want to add some of this on, I'm almost feeling that maybe we're going to really dramatically just reduce these amount of pushes we're doing on the delay. We're going to really, really ratchet that down. I always hate how glitchy it is in Logic. Oh, I can't stand it. All right, so let's go ahead. We'll go back here into touch mode, and then I'll just do simple little push there at bar 7 essentially. So we'll punch in here at 6.3. So you saw there, I'm just in real time, riding the auxiliary send. Again, I'm doing this all over here. Okay, this is, by the way, the CS12, not sponsored. Actually, the only sponsor I have now is with Geoshred, and nothing else is sponsored in this video. And I'm really happy to be associated with those guys. The guy I've been talking to over there is just wonderful, and just responds any questions I have, any issue I have. He's just like immediately, they really care, and you really get that feeling. And so I'm really, really happy to be associated with them. So it's like the only time I've ever been an artist in residence anywhere. There was one other time, but it wasn't with not like a plug-in company. It was a music composition company. Anyway, that was a lifetime ago. So now, as we see here, the note is happening here on 9, but you see I'm late here on the send. So let's make sure that I'm right on the money right there. Okay, let's listen again. Probably the same thing here. Yep, same thing. I mean, that it just, what people don't understand. Oh, sorry, I realized you were not seeing what was on my screen. My apologies. But what I think a lot of people don't understand, I mean, you can hear it. That's the main point. What a lot of people don't understand is these digital signal processing units are like musical instruments. They are extensions of musical instruments. So the way I'm using my PCM80, it's musical. The way I'm using the delay is musical. The way I'm using the reverb, it's all musical, because instead of putting in like a fill, a melodic fill, which we could do, I'm instead choosing to extend rhythmically the sort of final note in there. Not the final note, but the notes that end each one of the 2-bar phrases. So let's listen again. Now, so normally what you could do, which would be perfectly acceptable, I mean, I guess we could use the bouncer. It doesn't matter what we use, but what's more typical, I suppose, would be, let's do the same thing here. Let's get these same, get a bit of the reverb. Oh, so sorry, you guys. I'm so sorry. I keep forgetting to do that. So we're going to fire up a little bit of reverb. Maybe I'll turn off the plate. And let's get that. Well, before we do that, let's just do what typically could happen instead of the reverb, I mean. But we could do both. Right? So you see, that's a very, very typical kind of phrase. And by the way, instead of the piano, because I'm starting to like this, this is nice. So, you know, instead of the piano, we could try other instruments and maybe even some of those Geoshred instruments. But that's something that might more typically happen. But what I'm saying is, instead of doing that, and we can do both, I'm saying, hey, what about some reverbs? Extension of what already is there. It's like you're sort of floating into a dream cloud, right? And that's what I mean by, I guess we can call this musical effects processing, you know, a more musical approach. Because like I said, I think I'm going to have to go with, I'm going to try and be very generous here, but I'm going to say that 80% of people set it and forget it. Like that's it, you know. And if they do some automations with their aux sends, it's usually like, okay, well, maybe on the chorus we want just a little more of that, you know, reverb, and maybe less on the verses, you know, stuff like that. But I mean, at least I don't really hear a lot of people who, you know, on one word. And that's what I used to do well, I still do record production. But like, for example, when I was in Los Angeles and I worked with artists, you know, that was something I really loved doing. You know, I'd just automate into my PCM80 on like one word, an important word. Actually, the artist I work with now, Pascal Dennis, I don't do it so often on his records, but there's a couple of records because we've done 6 records in total now. On a couple of them, I've done this musical approach that I'm talking about. More musical approach, because like I said, I think most people, they set it, they forget it, and that's it. They're not saying, all right, on one note, I'm just going to add this. And by the way, if we think about this, let's go back to looking at the sarod, sarod. Implies more than one. I think it's just, and I'm so sorry if I'm not pronouncing these names correctly. I'm really sorry. I don't know how to pronounce a lot of these names. I'm just going with what I think it sounds like. So anyway, so on this track here, I am introducing extra reverb and extra delay on bar 7 and bar 9, and only on bar 9 do I introduce for the first time the PCM80. I guess I did a little here too. Sorry. All right, so let's listen. See, so it just allows us to sort of have a lovely expanse, if you will, on just those notes without having to ruin our mix, right? Because if we had it on maximum, it just wouldn't sound very good, right? Okay, so that's one idea here. Let's now just sort of think about the composition now, because I'm really liking this line in here, and there's no reason we cannot have both. So let's think about that line. Now, when the Bansuri comes in, I like the melodic statement, so I think I'm going to leave that for now. But let's maybe think about another plucked instrument. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll open up the Geoshred here. And by the way, I should probably, well, let's see. I didn't really think about this. I didn't get the iPad app all up and running. Let me just see if I can do this relatively quickly without too much trouble here. Just going to switch over here, and then I'm going to look for, this is in the old days where you'd hear the Herb Alpert brass. Stand by while we attempt to fix our technical difficulties. You know, for the old days of TV. Like, that's just such a, like, bygone era, no? Like, only people my age and more are going to kind of understand what that means. Or remember when your live television would be interrupted for some reason. I mean, it's really incredible the way things have changed. Okay, so I think I have this set up correctly. Let's see if I do. There we go. Oh, it's not. It's some strange delay happening here. I don't mean digital delay. I mean delay in the notes I'm playing. This is again when you open up a second instance. It gets all weird. I don't know why. That's definitely something I should bring up to them. Because I don't know about you guys, but I do it all the time where I just, Command D for duplicate track, at least in Logic, that's what it is. And then I get this weird playback issue. I don't know why, but I'm sure. I always assume it's my fault. That's step one. Just assume it's your fault. I'm going to assume it's my fault. But let's see. Let's go ahead. I'm going to just going to fire this up and oops. Okay, let's see here. Is that working? There we go. All right, now it's responding nicely. All right, so we can now go through and, we could try an air who. Let's just see. Oops. Now, I already have the SWAM engine, like the regular, AU VSTs. But as part of my artist in residency, they gave me the Geo SWAM stuff, which is fantastic. It's just a different way of controlling the same sounds, but it's still wonderful. We could try, well, let's see here. Let's go, I don't know. Maybe the Erhu, let's see. Oh, I guess I should do this, so you guys can sort of follow. I don't think this would be the right idea. So let's see. I mean, that Sarod is really quite nice. What if we try? No, that's definitely not the right vibe. Let's see here. We could try the pipa. I mean, how lovely is that? Look, guys, this thing still just blows me away. It's beautiful. And then you got the strum bar over here. It's great. Look at that. Oops. I love it. Love this thing. So I don't know if that's quite right. We could, of course, just fire up a little bit of... oh, wait, we got to make sure we're in the right place here. Sorry, just got to make sure this is over here and that's over there. And then we're just going to push that and try some delay. A little too much. Let's just go with some nice reverb over here. Could work. And oh right, they have their own built-in delay, so let's turn that off. We'll go to the dry version so we can just control everything. Now that's kind of strange because wait, let's turn all this off. Now there we are. Perfect. Okay, wonderful. Ah, cool. Check that out. So that's quite handy. So really cool. So wow, guys, this is so, oh, why can't all software be like this, you guys? Like, it's so well thought out. Everything is so well thought out. I mean, damn it, that is so unbelievably, incredibly musical. The fact that you can just put in these little See, I got totally carried away, which is, that happens. And I'm not really thinking about the line. Let's think about the line, okay? Now, there is this thing about, they have the scale mode. Let's see, though, if we go, let's see, maybe I will see how this scale thing works. How do you do the scale thing? There's strum enable, double legato. Where is, I know it's here because I've used it before, the scale mode. Damn, I really can't find it. Weird. All right, well, I'm not gonna overthink this. Oh wait, I think you have to do it, you select from scale. Yeah, it's a preset, and then what it does is it changes the UI a little bit. So we have scale, right, and then now we can select, and oh, it's searching. Okay, there we go. So if we just go to Western scales, and we can do, well, can just do, what are we in here? Okay, so we're basically in Phrygian dominant is what we're doing over here. There we go. They have Phrygian dominant. Yay. That's really nice. So what did I do before I did? Okay, so we got B flat in there. So let's try. Let's just try. And here we go. Kind of butchered that one, didn't I? Try it again. So yeah, as all of you know, I'm not a very good musician. I am a composer, but terrible at playing. Let's just quantize, just for the sake of getting this done quickly. But it feels really delayed to me. And let's go ahead and call this that instrument, the pipa, and let's give it the lovely icon. I made icons for everything, man. I love icons. I'm a huge fan of just having everything look nice. And you know, we'll make this really, really soft. Because we're going to have this counter melody, what we can do here, just to sort of keep the composition tighter, for lack of that should come on the downbeat. Let's mute these two notes, which are leading into the next phrase. because they were conflicting with this line here. Now, I also really do like to layer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the piano back and also make it soft. So we have the piano and the pipa, and we could also have, you know, some violins. I mean, we could. I don't know if I want to go that far. For now, and I'm not crazy about the sound, but for now I think this is enough, okay? So there you go. There's a little idea, and let's move on to this. Also do here, a couple things we're going to do. I think I know why there was a slight issue with the, oh, we're on eighth notes. There we go. Yeah, I think I had quantized to 16ths before and I should have done eighths. Okay. What we'll do is we're going to also copy all of that with the automation sends to the next part of the phrase. Nice with the strings. Now, by the way, this is also where we could go to the bansuri and have it make a phrase that leads up to when it begins to play, right? So, let's go over onto the bansuri. And here we are. We'll go to bansuris. And we'll go to the dry preset. And that way we can have our own digital signal processing. I love this CS30 because, the CS12 from Nectar Panorama. The Nectar Panorama C12. I love it because whatever track you select, if you're on your auxiliary sends, it just leaves it. So it's like a console, you know. I really, really have come to love this. I use it more than the SSL controller. All right, so we're gonna just. Okay, so. So that's our line here. Oh, sorry. Let me do this so you can see what I'm doing here. Right? So maybe coming up to that, I don't know. So we could do, oops. So let's just think about that. Start at 23. Okay. I'm trying to, why can't I think of anything here? Could do that. I mean, that was not horrible what I just did. Or do we come from up and come down? the simplest we could do, right? I'm such a non-musician. I really wish I had practiced and became really good at any musical instrument. Anyway, I'm sort of, just rambling on and on and on. So I think this is a good place probably to stop the video. Anyway, as I always say, be authentic, because it can really help your life. It's true, guys. Being authentic, very, very important quality in life. I think it's a quality that is really lacking in a lot of the world that we live in online today. So I think it's important. Anyway, guys, take care and have a good one wherever you are, whatever you're doing. That's it.